Good day, people. Welcome to another video, and this is a pretty interesting one. Actually, I really hope you are listening to this one because this is a pretty special one. It's the start of me showing you the book I have wrote, which is the Hollow Dragons, and this is book 1, The Secret Wizard. And today I'm just going to show you part 1, the first chapter and the prologue. On to the next week. Next Monday I will show you the second chapter, and so on and so forth each week, as long as you keep liking it, you keep subscribing to the channel, and you actually giving support to this new book and to obviously my channel. And it doesn't matter, the drawings of the channel are still the main thing that is going to appear, but of course I want to add in some new things, and this is one of them. So let's start. Move on to the first chapter, prologue. Far beyond our imaginations comes a world named Dwarden, which is divided in many kingdoms, but the story of these kingdoms was not well, since they were constantly attacked by the hallow dragons, which are mythology creatures who ruled Dwarden for a long time. But with perseverance and bravery, these kingdoms were forged, and each kingdom had a certain fear for the dragons. But there was one king who dared to step up against them, and his name was Ricardo of Cordral. Some say he even managed to have a partnership with the most feared dragon of all, Rocco. But Ricardo was evil and searched only for conquer. Selfish was his middle name. That's why he held a grudge for King Louis Vidoy of Tratton, because Tratton was always been the most powerful kingdom, thanks to the noble and wise King Louis. But the future of this land was on Louis' hands. That's why he knew that the only man in land who could help him was the secret wizard. What will happen knowing that his wife Nancy was on the edge of giving birth to a child? And now we move on to Chapter 1. Chapter 1. The Birth of a Legend. Long ago, in a kingdom named Tratton, before its destruction, it was a peaceful village in where the King Louis Vidoy was getting ready to have a child who should have been his successor to the throne. Louis said, "Nancy, my kingdom is your gift, because you will have a son, who one day will be the king of Tratton. That is why, my love, I'm going to visit the secret wizard, for he will predict our future with my next child." So Louis went on a journey to find the secret wizard, in which he faced a stunning task when he found out that the wizard had not been seen for almost 70 years. Rumors said that he has been doing a future prediction and he doesn't want to be disturbed. Indeed, Louis was fearing that the wizard may not like his visit, but he was still going for it. For one reason, he thought that if the wizard had predicted the future, he might know how to raise his incoming son. Leaving Tratton, he knew that the wizard must be close, as the clouds started to burst, and to then a mysterious creature came by, and it appeared that it was a gigantic Cyclops, who was saying, "What is a tiny man doing in my land, the land of Naris?" Louis Vidoy said, "I'm just in a quest to find the secret wizard. You see, I'm the king of Tratton." The Cyclops said, "There's no way that a so-called king invades my land. Now you will die for it." At the start of the fight, Louis was pretty outmatched from the gigantic size of the Cyclops, who was trying to land the blow to the king. But a smart Louis got the best of the Cyclops and made him fall and drop his head in a large tree. That made him lose knowledge. So Louis took his sword and struck the Cyclops hard. After Louis killed the Cyclops, it looked like his quest had a bright way upon his journey, and so he went on. Louis got through Naris, so much willing to finish the task, but we can't say the same about Nancy. Since the king's absence, Tratton has not been the same. You see, a food crisis was growing because of a mysterious guy was always stealing the cattle. So Nancy took action and sent a lot of soldiers to tell Louis of the crisis and that they needed him back in Tratton. As Louis was already near the promised land, he had noticed that much cattle, similar to Tratton's cattle, he was a little bit confused, so he said, "How strange. I can swear this is identical to Tratton's cattle." Well, whoever owns these things, he must be telling me what's going on. And as wooded signal and as a wooded signal said the lost forest, Lewis knew something funny was going on. However, the king realized that mythical creatures lived in the forest, such as Pegasus, giant wolverines, and lots of giant white sharks. As he was near the wizard, he saw a shadow man, who was hard to see since of his black clothing. So Lewis says, "Who is he? Could he know something about the wizard? Or even something about about this cattle? I must speak with him." And so he did. Without formalities, he quickly ran to him and asked him, "Who are you?" The shadow man didn't show himself and instead said, "Leave me alone. Can't you see I'm busy, you freak?" Lewis said, "But sir, I'm the king of Trenton, and if you tell me what you know, at least for the cattle, I'm willing to give you a golden reward. But please, I'm looking for the secret wizard." The shadow man said, "Well, stop looking. You see, you're not going to find him anywhere. As for the cattle, I have never seen it. Now, could you please leave? As I said earlier, I'm really busy." Lewis, as he looked at the shadow man leaving, he went running into him and took off the shadow man's hood off. And Lewis realized it looked like a wizard. At the point, Nancy's troops reached Lewis and told him about the current crisis in Trenton. So with no doubt, Lewis asked the shadow man about the cattle. "So, shadow man, tell me more about the cattle. And why did you witch that wolverine?" As Lewis said that the shadow man was forced to tell the truth, the shadow man said, "If you are the king of Trenton, then I must tell you the not so distant future, which I fear." Lewis said, "Tell me more. Why do you fear?" The wizard said, "Dragons, my majesty. You see, a terrible dragon named Rocco will strike your kingdom." Lewis then said, "How much time do we got?" The wizard said, "A few months, maybe 8, if we're lucky." Lewis said, "But my son will be born at the time. I need to know his fate. Will he die?" Wizard said, "You must keep the new boy alive, because I can feel that one day he will save Trenton." Lewis said, "Well, if what you say is true, then we must get going, and you will help me, because only a true wizard can avoid a dragon. And as far as I know, they say you're the most powerful wizard on land." Wizard said, "Fine. If the dragon comes, then we must get ready and find a good birthplace for the incoming child. As hollow as it is, only a dragon is capable of destroying such a giant kingdom as Trenton." Lewis said, "Let's get going." So the new quest was to return to Trenton and warn everyone of the possible crisis. And they went on through the lost forest, far through Naris. At the end of 3 months, they had at least reached their goal. And quickly as possible, he went to his wife Nancy and told her about the destructive future. Nancy said, "How will we take this? And what will happen to our people?" Lewis said, "All I know is that we have 5 months. And the people must know. And let's just hope that the wizard miscalculated. But first, let's take a moment to find the birthplace for our child." But not only Trenton had issues. You see, a far-off land named Cordral was a selfish land with a cruel and ruthless king named Ricardo Amazon. The legend says that Ricardo has conquered the Dragonland with his ultimate army. Many of Ricardo's men died in the battle, but such things didn't matter to such ruthless king. And Louis was fearing that Ricardo may be behind this whole dragon attack. The 5 months were off, and the cold silence was disturbing the full kingdom. As the wizard planned the spell of a giant force, he thought that maybe that would do the trick to hold off the dragon. But different things was going on between King Louis and Queen Nancy. They were trying to find a nice place to meet the wizard, and went to the secret forest as a small fire began in the coast of Tratton. The kingdom was in great danger, as by the clouds it looked as if the wizard's predictions were right, and a huge dragon who seemed angry and had a gigantic size. It was Rocco, and the first thing he did was burn all the west coast of Tratton. With his giant wings he blew away all the land. People were in shock of the awesome power of Rocco, who said, "Where is Louis Vidoy? Where is the king? Tell, or I will finish all of Tratton in less than a second." Villager 1. "And who are you to tell us what we should do for our salvation? If we die today, we die with the honor of defending Tratton." Rest of the village. "Tran! Tran! 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 Tran!" Rocco said. "How dare you now? You will burn!" And so in a blink of an eye, Rocco finished Stratton, and what once was a great kingdom now was a desolation of flames and ashes. But Louis and Nancy had to sacrifice their lives as they managed to put their baby named Giovanni in the fortress he had lived, alongside the wizard who at the point managed to survive and sent the lost prince to a far-out land named Gianna. Left him with a noble family who said they will take care of him until he's old enough to raise his own path. The wizard left them a note which Giovanni had to read before he follows his own path, and so the adventure has begun. And yep, that's the first chapter of the story. I really hope you like it. I really hope you enjoy it. I'll see you next time. Please leave me some comments into it, and goodbye.